If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. Welcome back to Deaconstruction. Tonight's lesson is called Make This House a Home. I'm Shamar Yah. Unfortunately, Kanash is not with us tonight. Most High willing, he will be making his return very soon. As the title implies, that's what we'll be going into. We're going to open up with Proverbs chapter 15, and we're going to start at verse 15, and we're going to read down to verse 17 in Proverbs. We're going to be talking about the dynamic in the house, talking about some realities, just being blunt. Just being honest, right? Let's start at Proverbs 15 and 15.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 15. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he that is of a merry heart hath a continual feast.
He that is of a merry heart hath a continual feast. What does that mean, right? If you're able to have peace, and peace comes with that righteousness, that virtuousness. If you have a husband and a wife that agree to be righteous, it's a beautiful thing. And you don't really need much in order to be happy. So a lot of times people think about karma, right? Oh, this person robbed people. It's only a matter of time before they get robbed or shot. Well, if thieves usually don't spend 24/7 stealing, right? They plot or they plan, they do whatever, they hit a lick, they lay low. That's not every single thing that they're doing. So that's not all it's talking about. It's also talking about if you can have that level of peace, there's really not too much to be worried about because you have peace, right? Let's read on.
Verse 16. Better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith.
Because a lot of people go through getting what they want the wrong way. And so they got a lot of money, but it comes with a lot of trouble. They got some of the things that the world teaches us should be desirable, but it comes with dangers, looking over your shoulder, lying low, fear of being betrayed, right? Shalom. Fear of being betrayed. Excuse me. Fear of losing it all, so on and so forth, right? Read.
Verse 17. Better is the dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith.
Because guess what? It's crazy because the scriptures tell us that a woman will encompass a man, right? On the one hand, that kind of means pass up. On the other, it means to surround. And basically, the scriptures tell us the prophecy is that there will come a point in time where a woman will surpass a man. women have a tendency of realizing the simplicity of a man and saying, oh, he's so simple. It's almost like he's nothing. It's so easy to figure out. He's predictable, this, that, and the third, right? The reality is that simplicity is a blessing, because you can get a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, a lot of pain-free moments from your life with simplicity. As much as we get taught, oh, you'll be happy, because that's what the thing is. They always set the bar further and further back. I can't remember the name of the author. It's a book called The Psychology of Money. And one of the chapters was called Enough. And it was about learning when to have enough, and how people who were worth hundreds of millions would throw away their careers, their reputations, their, the legacy that they have over making pennies on what they were already making, because they couldn't have enough. So the world tells us, oh, you'll be happy when you get this nice car. You'll be happy when you get this high rise. You'll be happy when you can pay for everybody's dinner. You'll be happy when you're the man. You'll be happy when you're the woman. And the reality is the scriptures already gave us the cheat code. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is. Even, you know what herbs are? They're cheap. Go to the store and buy an onion, and then go to the store and buy a steak, and you tell me which one costs less. Buy some. You could probably get onions, garlic, cabbage. You can get a number of things for the price that it takes to get meat. And you're even talking more expensive if you're talking about oxen and bison. It's not at every store for the most part. But it's better if you have that humble meal, but there's love there. Because if it's us against the world, then, what problems are we having? If every time as an Israelite man I go out into this world and I face the dangers of my life, because it ain't like, did police stop killing Israelites? Have Israelites stopped killing Israelites? Have gangs been absolved? Is death no longer a thing we have to fear or be concerned with? It's all around us all the time. And it's only by the Most High's mercy that we're even making it day to day. It's only by the Most High's mercy that we live in these high crime rate areas. We live in these dangerous spaces where people are getting shot and stabbed and killed all the time, and somehow we've avoided all of it. And not just, oh, I'm not going to be involved in the streets. How many people get caught with stray bullets? How many people was at the wrong place at the wrong time? How many people were at schools or malls thinking that they were having a regular day and ended up losing their life? But the Most High's mercy gets us through all of this, right? It's better to have that cheap meal where you got love, because when you got that love, you have a level of peace that's lost on most people. Versus, guess what? A stalled ox and hatred therewith. You can have all the things in the world and still feel like you have nothing. You can be in a room full of people and feel lonely. You can be wherever it may be and not have that intimate closeness of that relationship, and it feels pointless. Going back to the verse 15 when it talks about a continual feast, when I use the example of a thief, right? Even someone who's doing wrong, because that's, again, people have this concept of karma. Even when it comes down to people doing wrong, people think about, oh, well, this person's doing wrong, so something's going to happen. But guess what? They only go out and do certain things at certain times. Their actual lives is how they wake up in the morning. That's for the thief. That's for the robber. That's for the saint. That's for the preacher. That's for the husband. That's for the wife. Your life, for the most part, is these small moments of how you live and how you're treated. And the place where it's going to matter the most, for the most part, for most people, is at home. How did you wake up? The type of words you heard, the type of words you're speaking. Let's stay in Proverbs 15 and jump up to verse 1.
Proverbs 15 and verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger.
Guess what? It is oftentimes, I think that a lot of times when people come to have conversations, especially if you choose to have a conversation, it is my belief that when we're sitting down to have a conversation, we're both agreeing, we're going to put down some of the ego to be able to get through this conversation. It doesn't have to be 6 hours, 5 minutes. Hey, what you did was offensive, yada, yada, yada. I wanted to say this. You have anything to say in response? Okay. It could be that simple. But instead, what ends up happening? Ego gets involved. And you know what it says? Grievous words. That's that sarcasm. That's that pettiness. That's that shot, right? What do the scriptures call it? Railing for railing. It stirs up anger. It's provoking. It's antagonizing. And I believe that if you're at all invested in your marriage or at all invested in your household, your relationship, or at all invested in peace and resolution, you're not going to do these things. You're going to have a level of restraint. Even if you say, I just want to get through this conversation, let me show some restraint because I'm invested in peace. How many arguments, I'll do you one better. How many wars could have been avoided with certain answers? Because before countries go to war, they try, at least that's what they show the world, a level of diplomacy. Can we talk this out? Can we negotiate? Oh, we can't? All right. Push the button. That level of conflict and cause and response is present at all times in our lives with anyone we speak to. Husband and wife, any type of authority to any type of subordinate. That is present constantly. Mother and child, father and child, teacher and child. Any type of, even if you're dealing with Esau's authority, there's a way that you have to respond. You're dealing with your boss at work, coworkers, there's a way you have to respond. Right? Let's go to Sirach. Sirach chapter 28. 28, and let's start at verse 12.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 28 and verse 12. If thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched. And both these come out of thy mouth.
He said, look, if you're trying to start a fire, when that fire has barely enough heat to produce smoke, you have to blow on it. You're blowing on this fire, right? Trying to get it to ignite. That is your intention. But now if you see a fire, a small little bit of smoke, maybe a vase in the house is reflecting some light, a mirror or something's reflecting some light, you see a little bit of smoke, and you spit on that smoke, well, you've cooled that area down enough to avoid that fire. He said both of these come from your mouth. So it just boils down to the choices that we make. It just boils down to what becomes a priority in that moment. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Curse the whisperer and double-tongued, for such have destroyed many that were at peace. A backbiting tongue hath disquieted many, and driven them from nation to nation. Strong cities had it pulled down, and overthrown the houses of great men.
Go ahead.
A backbiting tongue hath cast out virtuous women, and deprived them of their labors.
So we was just talking about all the ways that speaking is an issue, and then he says how it applies to women. When you do good, but then you have these moments of recklessness, it says it deprives you of your labor. I cannot tell you how many. Matter of fact, it ain't even like just an everyday Israelite. This isn't something that's compartmentalized. Across the world, Israelite women will talk about being appreciated. Even Aisha Curry, right? She was recently in the news. And it was such a big thing because she felt like she wasn't getting enough acknowledgement from men. It's always about being seen, always about being acknowledged, always about being appreciated. Well, how are you speaking? Because Aisha Curry, before she opened her mouth, the world thought that she was a good mom and a good wife. Oh, look at her and Steph. They're both light-skinned. They're both good-looking people. They've got little light-skinned babies that look just like both of them simultaneously. Oh, what a sweet little family. And then the moment she started talking people are like, ugh. Must be so hard being a housewife to this rich, powerful millionaire, rich, powerful, famous man that has already married you and had multiple children, and he's from what everyone can see, a great guy. It's the things that you say that can take the positive impression that someone may even have of you without speaking and be like, oh. What are you saying when you have an opportunity to speak? What do you choose? Let's go from there. Let's go back to Proverbs 15. Let's read verse 23.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
A man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season. How good, Salakia. A man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season. How good is it?
So Proverbs 15 is talking a lot about communication, right? It says a word spoken in due season, meaning at the right time. I'll give you a prime example. I didn't actually write this down, but I'm going to reference the story. You had Abigail on the ball, right? Unfortunately, we don't see a plethora of righteous women in the scriptures that we can pull from and be able to have as a role model for sisters, right? There's not a plethora. There's not a whole bunch. Abigail, mind you, she was dealing with a wicked man, right? People, it's funny because people will say his name is Baal, right? I mean, Nabal, and it was like son of Baal. And the name meant fool, or like a son of the devil. That's what he was known as. And I said, do you think when he was named as a baby, someone looked at that little baby and was like, oh, I'm going to name him fool or son of the devil? No, because the name doesn't make the man or the woman. The man or the woman makes the name. And Nabal was such a terrible person that his name became fool or son of the devil. She was dealing with a real terrible person, terrible husband. He just so happened to be rich. But didn't we just read that it's better to have a meal of herbs than a fattened ox in hatred? So she's living with a rich man in his house, and she's still, for lack of better words, I'm pretty sure she was still miserable in a number of regards, even though she never said or showed that. But when she exemplified speaking in due season was when she prevented this wicked man from getting killed, even though she may have even been tempted, but she chose not to stand idly by and allow him to be killed by David. She waited until he wasn't drunk and he was done partying. She waited until he was in the space to be able to receive the message. And she probably thought to herself, man, because, Nabal seemed brash, a little hostile. Maybe if she would have told him while he was drunk, hey, David was just thinking about killing you, he would have been like, what? I got all this money, I got all this power, let me gather all my servants up and see, I'm going to go. It would have been a lot of bloodshed. He probably would have lost I'm willing to say for sure, he would have lost the battle, not only because of David's experience with war, but also because the Most High was with David. The Most High put Nabal to death soon after. He wasn't with Nabal. But guess what? Just because she chose to wait until the morning time, not only could she possibly have saved his life, she saved a bunch of the lives of his servants that were with him that he would have told, grab a sword, we're about to go kill David. There was a lot of wisdom in what she did. And that's to a devil. That's to a wicked, no good, down. She didn't take what she knew and use that. Because even once he woke up, she could have been like, hey, Nabal, wake up. You're an idiot. You're stupid. I can't believe you. You know, David was about to kill you. I should have let him. She didn't wake him up like that. After years of suffering with this man, after years of his horrible attitude, horrible character, and horrible mentalities, have him known. Because mind you, not everybody's immortalized, and not every Israelite is immortalized. But Nabal was bad enough to get immortalized for his wickedness. She still didn't wake him up and throw all this stuff at him. You're a fool and yada, yada, yada. Should have let him kill you. And it wasn't that. You know you're in a bad space when your relationship and your spirit, it becomes a kamikaze. Kamikaze becomes commonality. For those that don't know, kamikaze was a fighter in World War II from Japan. Some say that the Japanese were running low on bombs, weapons, but they didn't run low on men, planes, or oil. And sometimes they would fly fully loaded planes with bombs, munitions, or demolition charges. And their objective was to commit suicide but do as much damage as possible. That was the purpose of a kamikaze fighter pilot. They would crash into U.S. naval ships, killing themselves and hopefully killing, others. When you're doing that in a relationship of, I'm going to go down, but I'm going to take you, you're in a bad space. I'm going to learn these scriptures and, oh, look, let's go to one. Let's go to Sirach 26. Everything you learn becomes a weapon. I mean, the Bible is sharper than any two-edged sword, right? 26 and verse 23.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
I have heard a number of sisters default to a few scriptures. This is one of them. Giving honor as unto the weaker vessels, one of them. There's one more. But basically, that's a kamikaze mentality. How is it a victory to say, as a woman, as a wife, as a fellow heir in Christ, because it's not just your responsibility, it's also everything you stand to gain. You should be encouraged in the Lord. You should be able to read these scriptures and feel invigorated and feel like, you know what, we can make it. Look at the signs of the times. Everyone's starting to notice the son of perdition. Everyone's starting to turn their backs on the U.S. Alliances. The wickedness is increasing. Nation is against nation, kingdom against kingdom. We're so close. You can see all of that in the scriptures as well. But you know what people will take from it? Well, if I'm so bad, it's only because you're bad. Yeah, but is the goal to be wicked? That's a kamikaze mentality. If we're acknowledging that we're both wicked or we both have something to repair, then what is the joy of being able to say, well, I'm only wicked because I've been given to... You're not winning. There's no salvation waiting for the wicked. Man, woman, child, elder. There's no salvation at the end of that. There is no joy in the morning. There is no victory. Here's another one. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 5. What becomes the purpose? What becomes your objective? One thing that I noticed a long time ago, all praise to the Most High, I realized as a teenager, I said a lot of people, if you give them what they're asking for, they really don't know what to do with it. How many people say, man, if I just had like $1 million, you know how quickly it is? You know how easily you could blow tens of thousands? You know how easily you can blow hundreds of thousands? And of course, everybody's like, not me. You know how many people have done it? How many NFL stars, NBA stars they work their whole lives. They sacrifice and they work and they work and they work. And they get that contract and they get that call and they play in that league and they get those millions, tens of millions, and they're broke today. Ephesians 5:22.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord.
You know what? You want to know the reality? Christ is the orchestrator of what we read of in the scriptures through the authority given to him by the Father. The scriptures say that the worlds were created by and for him. I hear a lot of people say, well, I would if he didn't. Guess what? Christ put your ass in slavery. He allowed these things to happen because of our disobedience. He allows us to be in this captivity until we get right. He separated himself from us. We don't have a temple. We don't have the Ark of the Covenant. We don't have a priesthood. We can't offer sacrifices. I dare any one of you to wait until he cracks the sky open and interrupt the war campaign to say, hey, I just don't appreciate the way that you put. I dare you. That captivity was a bit much. I dare you. I dare you. I know you probably got a lot going on, but I just want to say, oh, man. It's men that do that as well. Just saw, the bishop was just showing me a post. Somebody was like, if you think that God put us in slavery for 400 years, you're mentally ill. We're a fool for Christ's sake then, because I can prove it. And I can see it clearly, and I can look out my window every single day. I can see the captivity that's going around, I can see the curses that's going on in my neighborhood in real time. I can see the hopelessness. I can see the drugs. I can see the whoredom. I hear the arguments. Hear the neighbor over here arguing with his ex now because she cheated on him. And I could hear the pain in his voice. I'm in the bathroom. I think I was brushing my teeth or something. He was like, why would you cheat on me? If you didn't want this anymore, you could have just left. Why deceive me? I was like, damn, I know that hurts. I could hear his voice cracking. Then on this side, it's a man who's trying to use the Bible to put into his house to give to his wife and his children. And I hear her, see, love your wife as Christ loved the church. Do you know what that means? Yeah, you don't know what that means. I'm like, damn. These are, I promise you, true stories. I've heard with my own ears. And it ain't like I'm like at the window. I'm hearing this stuff through the window. I'm hearing this stuff in the bathroom. I'm hearing this stuff in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the living room. I'm hearing this stuff. I'm like, good Lord. But how much of this is being practiced? There's still, the lines are blurred. And here's the thing, because people act like we're not in captivity. They'll be like, oh yeah, it's hard, it's hard, it's hard. Dude, you don't understand how much Esau has destroyed our minds. You know why it's so confusing and so difficult? And this whole, there is no such thing as a gender war. You know why it's so difficult? Because the demands of woman and man are blurred. If a man's supposed to provide and protect, but you feel like, oh, I can call 911. And I can go get EBT. And I don't even necessarily need a child. I can adopt. What do I need this man for? And a man could say, well, I don't necessarily need your meal. I can go buy me some food. I don't necessarily need your comfort. I can hit the club. It's all bad. And you see and hear all these stories of how men go out into the mess of the world and make a mess of themselves looking for that comfort. Why can't he get it where he lays his head? In the arms of a stranger, in a strange bosom, he's looking for comfort. And everyone's going to look at that man and talk about how, oh, well, he's just a dog-ass nigga. Let's get a story. Let's go to 2 Samuel. Second Samuel chapter 6 let's start at verse 9.
This is 2 Samuel chapter 6 and verse 9. And David was afraid of the Lord that day and said, how shall the ark of the Lord come to me?
So for one of the things, the Ark of the Covenant was taken. This quite literally was what our people and the priests would bow themselves before in order to inquire of the Lord. It was a very pivotal part of the temple. It was almost like the microphone that you had to speak into to talk to the Lord. I think that's a good comparison to just show how pivotal the Ark of the Covenant was. We lose it. Sorrow, wailing, oh my God. David has been used as a vessel to get it back. Someone, because as they're bringing it back, it's on a wagon. It wobbles, and a man's like, oh no, let me not let this fall. He touched it, and he instantly died. So David's like, whoa, damn, first of all, that's terrifying. It was instant death. It wasn't like he was like, oh, you're going to be cursed in 40 years. No, it was like, boom. Like, oh, don't nobody touch the Ark of the Covenant outside of the priest. So now David's like, damn, how am I even supposed to bring this thing back? It ain't like if the priest get overrun while we're on the way, I can pick it up and run with it. I just saw a man die because he touched it. So there's difficulty in this military campaign. Go ahead.
Verse 10. So David would not remove the ark of the Lord unto him into the city of David, but David carried it aside into the house of Obed-edom the Gittite. Mm-hmm. And the ark of the Lord continued in the house of Obed-edom the Gittite 3 months, and the Lord blessed Obed-edom and all his household.
So mind you, this wasn't like, hey, David, the Ark of the Covenant's over there. They're smitten with basically hemorrhoids. I can't remember the word that the scripture uses for it. You should just go take it. Nah. He had to go to war, smite the city, so it was a bunch of people that got killed. Then he had to get the Ark of the Covenant. He's got to safely be able to bring priests. We haven't really been exposed to war zones, but guess what? No, I won't even say that. You know what a war zone's like, because you've been in the hood. And you see that yellow tape get put up. And you see blocks get taped off. And it's like, oh, can't go down there. Now imagine you got to take you and your children, or you and your family, or you and a small group of people got to go through that war zone and securely secure something and take it back out. It's not an easy thing. So David put this at someone's house for 3 months. His job is still not done. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And it was told King David, saying, the Lord hath blessed the house of Obed-edom and all that pertaineth unto him, because of the ark of God. So David went and brought up the ark of God from the house of Obed-edom into the city of David with gladness. Mm-hmm. And it was so, that when they that bare the ark of the Lord had gone 6 paces, he sacrificed oxen and fatlings.
So he like, okay, basically David was offering a whole lot of offering and sacrifice, because he's like, okay, we're trying to bring this in. We're trying to do the right thing. Y'all go a little bit. Okay, we sacrifices. Let's make sure the whole way we got a good thing going. It's pressure. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And David danced before the Lord with all his might, and David was girded with a linen ephod. So
when they finally were able to get it to the city of David, David is celebrating. Mind you, it ain't like, oh, we can travel for work. We got cars. Throw a bunch of stuff in your back seat. You drive an hour, you drive back. You cover 60 miles in an hour. Yeah, that's like average speed for a car. David wasn't just going home every night to go live in his comfortable, to go to the palace. David was gone on this military campaign trying to figure things out. Took a while to get back. So when he finally succeeded, he was celebrating. Look what the Most High has used me to do. That's a glory. That's cause for celebration. Continue, read 15.
Verse 15. So David and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of the Lord with shouting and with the sound of the trumpet.
So everybody's celebrating, right? Everybody's turned up. It's a beautiful occasion. Of all the things that are happening on the earth, let's take a moment. Let's visualize, right? Close your eyes if you have to. Right now, somewhere in the earth, someone is dying. Right now, somewhere in the earth, someone is being born. Right now, somewhere in the earth, someone's being intimate with their spouse. There's all these things that are happening simultaneously from the beginning of life to the end of life and everything in between. Someone's getting CPR and they're going to make it. And somebody's getting CPR and they're going to die. This is all happening somewhere on the earth right now. The concept of realizing that other people have their own lives and their own stories outside of your own is called sonder. Picture that for a moment, right? All the different things that are going on. Someone's terrified, someone's rejoicing, right? That night, those same things were happening. People were dying and being born, and good and bad in all different ways was happening everywhere in the earth. But the most important, monumental thing that was happening on the earth that night was that the Ark of the Covenant was being returned to Israel. That God's people, because sometimes I read about some other nations, but this whole thing has pretty much always been about the Most High Yahushua in Israel. I don't read too much about anybody else. And even then, it's only what they did or didn't do for Israel. So the most important people on earth just had one of the most important victories in the history of this people. Of all the things that were happening on the earth, this is what's being immortalized. David is out there celebrating, partying, grateful, glad. Read on.
Verse 16. And as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through a window and saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart.
It's like, good Lord. This is the most important thing that's happening on the earth tonight. Do you think the Most High cared? Oh, there's a heathen baby being born way over. I don't read about that. Oh, someone just lost their loved one, a heathen, they're very special matriarch of the family, patriarch of the family. I don't read about that. This is what I'm reading about. And that's another thing. Think about all of human history. How many people have done things that aren't recorded? I'm talking about every nation of all time, of all people, of all kingdoms, right? There's only a few that are even actually documented in the grand scheme of things. Now I'll bring it back to Israel. Not every Israelite that's done something was immortalized. Sometimes you have stories like with Adam. With a number of people where it says, and he begat sons and daughters. It don't name those sons and daughters. It just lets you know he had a bunch of kids. But there's nothing about them that got them immortalized, good or evil. Maybe they were good people, maybe. Maybe they were just like everybody else and they chose wickedness and it just wasn't so significant it was worth mentioning. Maybe. But you know who is immortalized and not for good? Saul's daughter. Saul's daughter is mentioned a number of times. When she was in her father's house and her father was king, she was such a terrible person that he weaponized her incompetence. I'm going to give you to my enemy because I know you being in his house can slow him down. All I got to do is let you be you. If Saul could recognize this, and this is after the Spirit of the Lord departed from him, whose spirit was he moving in to do that to his brother? Willing to wager it was Satan. So does that not mean that Satan will target certain individuals and devise plans, even if it means going through who they're closest to destroy them? Mind you, Saul's daughter, outside of her wickedness, there's nothing notable about her. She was born into royalty, but she didn't behave herself royal. Then she married into royalty, and she was married, but she wasn't a wife. David has been gone for how long, planning this military campaign, trying to make sure that everybody makes it home safe. When people die, someone has to answer for it. Not just give an answer and give a good speech. There are mothers that are going to mourn, fathers, sisters, brothers, cousins, nephews, sons, and daughters. Someone's going to mourn who dies. All of this is on his mind, trying to bring everybody home safely. And it was multiple months that it took to successfully complete this mission. And he comes in dancing, and the first thing she can think after not seeing him in how long was, look at this nigga. That's the type of thing that'll make a man say, damn, what, you wanted me to die out there? I've been gone for how long with my life at risk? With all this responsibility and weight on my shoulders. That's what comes to your mind? She despised him in her heart. Go ahead.
Verse 17.
I'm sorry, let's drop down to verse 20.
Verse 20. Then David returned to bless his household.
So his intention is, oh my God, guys, we finally did it. Right above this, he gives a cake, a piece of meat, and a flagon of wine to every man and woman in Israel. It's a party across the board. Everybody's celebrating. Even if you probably didn't even have much. Maybe you was eating that meal of herbs. We eating good tonight. Maybe you was homeless. Maybe you didn't have much. You eating good tonight. We celebrating. He goes home in a good mood. He like, man, let me, let me go bless my house. Good intentions, right? Go ahead.
Then David returned to bless his household, and Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David and said...
So she watching him. Everybody else is celebrating. Everybody else is in a good mood. She watching him through the blinds. Look at this nigga, man. Nigga dancing. She sees him coming up. She go outside. She can't even wait. You know, in the movies, people used to be sitting with their back turned, or they be sitting in the dark, waiting for somebody to walk into the room and click the light on. She couldn't wait. She had to go outside and meet him. Go ahead.
And said, how glorious was the king of Israel today.
She said, oh, look at you, king of Israel. How glorious. Go ahead.
Who uncovered himself today in the eyes of the handmaids of his servants.
Out there showing your ass. That's what she just said. You uncovering yourself. King of Israel. David was dressed like a priest, and I don't think that was unintentional. David has been nothing but exalted from his youth for his works, his incredible spirit, his character, and what the Most High has ordained for his life. Mind you, David's also a king, and he's very rich, and it also said he was a good-looking man. By all accounts, Michal was blessed. But what is she focused on? Oh, here you come, King of Israel. Have fun uncovering yourself to everybody? Go ahead.
As one of the vain fellows shamelessly uncovered himself.
And there's the cut. There's those grievous words that stir up strife. She couldn't have just come out to authentically be excited to see, get this, her own husband. Her husband, her king, her brother in Christ, her fellow Israelite, her war general. He just went out there. I mean, was David the only one that was affected by the Ark of the Covenant? That was for the nation. Guys, like I said, it's like a microphone that we can speak to God. We got it back. Have no fear. We're going to be able to talk to our God again. Be able to commune with our God like it was. We're so disconnected, I don't think we understand the value of what King David was just used to accomplish. She couldn't see any of that light in him. And she says, you was uncovering yourself as a vain fellow, shamelessly uncovereth himself. It's grievous. It's grievous. That's why I mentioned earlier, as a so-called everyday Israelite, you don't have assurance of your life. We don't have assurance of our lives. It wasn't like Israel was just untouchable. During King David's time, did they not raid the city, burn a bunch of stuff, and take wives and children and spoils? He like, damn, you was good the whole time I was gone, and I didn't die out there. And it ain't oh my God, baby, I'm so happy to see you. Oh my God, baby, you're doing so amazing. I mean, wow, what a blessing. Married to the King of Israel, one of the three righteous kings. Married to a soldier. Oh, baby, I'm so glad you made it back. Maybe word hadn't spread yet, but there was a casualty. Somebody was excited, and in the midst of all this, I guarantee you somebody was also mourning. Scripture said Uzzah had died because he touched the Ark of the Covenant trying to keep it from falling off the wagon. He died. So when the campaign returned, if they didn't know already, they found out. But not McCall's husband. Hey, your husband made it back, safe and sound, in one piece. The mental toll is something else, but physically he's back in one piece. And she comes out of the house, not to go celebrate, not to go congratulate her husband and wrap around him and, oh, baby. Because I'm sure that would have put David even on a higher level. Oh, I'm out here, I'm celebrating, dancing before the Lord, dancing before the people, and my wife hyping me up. Oh, man. No, she didn't come out for any of that. When she saw that he was coming back, and she sees him walking up, these are the first words that she's spoken to him since he came back, where he could have lost his life. You out there shamelessly uncovering yourself as a vain fellow shamelessly uncovereth himself. Grievous words. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And David said unto Michal, it was before the Lord, which chose me before thy father, and before all his house, to appoint me ruler over the people of the Lord, over Israel. Therefore will I play before the Lord.
Then he gave her one back. Oh, I'm just dancing before the Lord my God. The same God that rejected your father, all your brothers, and everybody else in your family from being king and from being royal. If Michal was born after King Saul, because, she could have still come through his lineage, but she could have been born after a time that King Saul was no longer king, and she would have been a nobody. You would have been a descendant of Saul. I mean, that's worth something, but would it have been worth? I mean, she was born a princess and then married to be a queen. What about her made her worthy of those titles? Does this sound like a queen? Does this sound like a princess? Let's go to 1 Ezra. This is what a lot of my sisters don't realize. You have way more strength than what you give yourself credit for. And it's oftentimes used as a cop-out. All of a sudden, I'm the weaker vessel. But not when it comes to desire or will. Let's go to 1 Ezra 4 and let's start off at verse 15.
This is the first book of Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 15. Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land.
So there were 3 wise men, just for some context. 3 wise men that went and spoke to the king, and they said, let's prepare a sentence. And if the king is able to recognize that we have wisdom, he's going to reward us and basically exalt us, give us finances, give us authority. I think it was a robe, a chain. It was just like, this is an opportunity, because they're like, man, we right here by the king all the time. Why don't we show him that we have wisdom? So each one of them prepared a statement. And so they said, oh, okay, let's figure out which is the strongest. One said liquor. No, the first one said the king. He was like, man, the king is the most powerful thing on the earth. Because the king, and I mean, that was wise. The king can command people to kill and to die. If the king says go forth and go kill, he said they'll wipe out nations in his name. That's a lot of power. If the king says, not that one, they spare by his word. That's a lot of power. People who are farmers pay their taxes and give a little bit of they the ones that's out there towards the end of the winter, heading towards spring in the cold, planting their crops to be prepared to have a harvest. And the king ain't nowhere near where they're at. And they still sit up here and give him a portion of what it is that they worked and they toiled for. Then the second one said, nah, it's liquor. You know why? Because liquor can sit up here and destroy this king. Liquor makes the heart of an orphan and a king one and the same. An orphan can forget his woes because he's off that liquor. He can forget who he is. He can forget all of his troubles, his tribulations. He can forget a whole lot because he fired up. Oh, I got some liquor in my system. He feel like he the man. He feel like the king, even if it's just for the night. That's why they call it what? Liquid courage. All of these things. So they're speaking, and mind you, they're wise. They're like, man, the what do you call that? The king's mind can be swayed by this liquor. He can make the wrong decision off some liquor because he's a powerful man in a position of authority. He get to drinking too much, he could destroy everything. And it's harder to build than it is to destroy, right? He can ruin everything in a moment because he got some liquor. Look at these giant buildings, these skyscrapers. It might take hundreds of men working 8, 10, 12 hours a day, sometimes even 24-hour projects, and it takes them years to get stuff done. And they bring that building down in like a week. After it took all that work to build it up, it only take a smaller crew of not even half the men to go in and survey and say, okay, that's a load-bearing beam right there. Oh, yeah, that's a load-bearing beam right there. Yeah, I mean, we drill a couple holes here in the foundation, drop a couple sticks of dynamite in there, throw a couple of split charges over here on these beams. We'll bring this building down. They do a little bit of work, they push a button, boom, everything comes down. Years of work undone in a moment. That's how easy it is to destroy. They said, man, the king got to be careful because that liquor's so powerful, it can make him destroy on that level. Then the third one said, nah, as powerful as that liquor is, and as powerful as the king is, that woman is even stronger. That's where we are. Let's pick it up at verse 15.
Verse 15. Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards, from whence the wine cometh.
He's like, so if you want to be technical, all of us had to go through a woman in order to get here. Then he said, and guess what? Before you ever have this big, burly, strong farmer that is able to feed hundreds off of his work, he had to be a little boy that was raised by his mom. Well, it still goes back to the woman. She's still the gateway. Go ahead.
These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be.
Then he said, look, the clothes that you're wearing, it was made by a woman. And not only can a woman make you a shirt, because that'll keep you, the shirt could keep you from being naked, and it can keep you warm. But it don't look nice. But that's why there's something called a woman's touch. You let a man decorate his own spot, he gonna have a TV, a bed, and maybe some weights. That's all I need. You walk in the house like, damn, bro, that's how you living? Like, I don't see the need for nothing else. But then, you woman come along, oh, let's get a nice chair. Then you get in the centerpieces. This is a vase that's just gonna be here. Right? Man had a mattress on the floor. He don't even have a mattress. You rocking the mattress topper. Man, I remember being 18. It was tough. I lived in the projects. I was on top of some carpet, and I had a crocheted blanket and a spread and a pillow. I slept on the floor, and I was like, hey, this is life. If I would have had a wife at that time that came in, she would have been like, oh, this don't work for me. A woman will see something and be like, ooh, this is going to just make it look nice. It doesn't even have a purpose outside of adding something aesthetically. I'm just put this here. Look how much nicer that looks. I'm going to arrange this. And that's why they call them keepers at home. There's so much value you add to a man's house. Dang, babe. A man can sit back and be like, dang, I didn't even know this could look like this. Same thing with a garment. You didn't just give him a shirt that's going to cover up his shame. You made him an extra nice something. It's got the nice collar. It's got a nice little embroidery. It's got all these little touches on it that just brings a man glory because somebody could look and see, damn, it was a lot of work that went into that. That looks incredible. Guess what? Yeah, the man might get the attention. Everyone might be gathered around at the man, doing a little tug on the garment. Oh, wow, look at this, look at that. Look at the craftsmanship, the work. Guess who did it? It was the woman. The woman did it. Some men know how to sew. I don't. The women are doing that type of stuff. He said, without women, men can't even be. Go ahead. Verse 18.
Verse 18. Yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and in beauty?
So if a man is rich, guess what he can't wait to do? I'm finna give me some women. It's even easier now. All these rich dudes that are on Instagram all day, they hunting. They just copy and paste. I wouldn't be surprised knowing a man just copy and paste. Let me fly you out. Let me fly you out. Let me fly you out. Let me see it. Let me come back in an hour and see how many of them reply. Because if I don't get you, I'll get somebody else. It is what it is. Right? It is what it is. It'll be easy. Right? That's what a man is able to do. He said, but even if that man has that gold and that silver, he wants that woman. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And letting all those things go, do they not gape? And even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her? And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold or any goodly thing whatsoever?
He said he got all this money, but his mouth open. Look at that woman. You got a pile of gold behind you. But that's not what's keeping his attention. There's only so many times you can count money. People be like, man, I just be counting money just to count it. Yeah, okay. All right. When you get to a certain point, it might be fun. Man, let me just go pull a couple thousand out. Let me just see what it feel like. Couple thousand in 20s, couple thousand in hundreds, couple thousand in 50s. All right, it's kind of exciting. Let me just thumb through it real quick. Yeah, that's cool. You put it in the stash spot. That's the end of the fun. Now it's like, what am I going to spend this money on? There's a woman in the picture. You want to see her happy. You're fixated on her. That's a beautiful thing if it's used rightly. Because that man is fixated on you, if he's valuing you more than all this money that he just risked or he worked for, you have a lot of power with that man to influence him, to maybe not make or break him, but to definitely boost him in either direction. A man might be bad and you can make him worse. You can see a King Ahab and Jezebel. And a man might be good and you can make him great. A man might be bad, and you can make him decent. You see Abigail and the ball. And how many other righteous examples of a woman being able to boost a man? Go ahead.
Verse 20. A man leaveth his own father that brought him up, and his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife.
Man, I done known pops all my life. But a man is more eager to be able to go out there and start his own family and his own legacy. And I've been around you for 20, 30 years, pops. But this woman over here, yeah, I'm going to move out. She said she want her own space, so I'm going to go build me a house or go buy me a house, go find me a place. She says she want to live over here by this, so I'm going to see what's up and see if I can find something over there. Go ahead.
Verse 21. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembered neither father nor mother nor country.
He just out there living. He not thinking about the next time he's going to visit his father or his mother or his country. If they're not in Jerusalem where he has to go and sacrifice year after year, he probably not going to see the family of the in-laws too often. Because he with that woman. Go ahead.
By this also ye must know, that women have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman?
Wait a minute. He said women have dominion over you. You know why? Because the scriptures tell us God's will is that a man reigns over a woman. But guess what? That woman has so much influence. She influences that man to the point where she's pretty much in control a lot of the time. She's the emotional control center of the house. And it's unfortunate in this day and age. You could have a man and kids. The man wakes up okay. The woman had a nightmare. Guess what? She moving differently in the house, and everybody feels it. She's over there shaking, pouring her some coffee. Hey, babe, you all right? I had a nightmare. Everything she's doing is with stress. She's cooking, too much salt on the eggs. She's shaking her hand, too much pepper. The kids notice the difference. The man notices the difference. The kids are concerned, what's wrong with mommy? Daddy knows how to sit there and he's stoic. You're very rarely going to see a man break down. I remember being absolutely flabbergasted. When I was probably like 12 or 13, my dad shed a tear talking about a dog he had that he loved so much that got hit by a car right in front of him. And I was like, oh, like dad can cry? You know how many times I see my mom cry by that point? It affects everybody differently when the woman's not okay. And it affects everybody differently when she's doing great. It's hard to have a bad day when you got somebody just, rainbows and sunshine and color. All right, baby. Give me a minute. We're way behind on rent and on all these bills. But the moment that I come up with a plan, I am so ready to jump into that happiness with you. Because even if we can't figure it out or something's going to change, at least we got each other. Hearing those soft, sweet words while you going through hell, oh man, it helps. But how many women choose to make that their objective? Versus how many women do everything they can to get to a man, and then when they got him, it's like, all right, cool. You tell me how many experiences that you've seen in the world and in the truth of women who make or break their families. You know how many examples I see of women who have left their husbands with children to go and figure out their lives on their own and left him to pick up the pieces? It changes a lot. But let's read on.
Verse 23. Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers.
Hold on. Not every man's a good man. Some men go out there and they rob and steal. That's how, hey, I'm going to get it how I'm living. Let me get that. From that type of man to the one that's going, click, clack, don't move, empty your pockets, don't turn, don't look. There was no type. And guess what them type of men do? They getting that money and they going home to their woman. He the one out there risking life and limb. He the one out there doing dirt. What happens if you get the, man, I ain't giving you nothing. He all right, well, let me see how much violence I have to use. All right, split an eyebrow. Okay, that was enough for him. Oh, this one tough. Bing, 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 boop, 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 boop. Then guess what? They might escalate. Pow! And whatever it took to get that money, he gonna bring that money home, and he's distributing with this woman that stayed at home. And oh, hey, babe, what's going? I don't know if it's how you. I don't know what the question sounds like after a day like that. But the money comes in, and oh, hey, he looked stressed, he looked tense. I was gonna go get my nails done, hit the da-da-da. Here. He's stressed out. He know that's coming back for him. But he distributing with this woman nonetheless. That's the thief, right? That's the bad man, right? To sail upon the sea and upon the rivers. I had I think a brother-in-law years ago. He was a king crab fisherman. So he would be up in treacherous waters, storms. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show. What is it? Dang, I wish I remember the name of it. It's like they do crab fishing. And deadliest catch, yeah. It's one of the deadliest professions in the world. It's so deadly that usually those guys can't find life insurance because their death expectancy is so high, it's almost guaranteed they're going to have to pay out for a premium. Those guys are living so dangerous, but guess what? The scriptures say, even a man like that, that's sailing upon the seas and upon the rivers. Now, this is not a bad man, but his life is in danger. He still risks life and limb for his family. Go ahead.
And looketh upon a lion.
Hold on. Now, you might not be neither one of these guys. You're a merchant that's on land. You just, oh man, I found a copper deposit. Yes. We're going to be rich. All I got to do is get this up here to this town that's known for their metal and their smith making, and I find a buyer. He got his wagon. Maybe he found a chunk of gold. It's in his backpack, and he's trying to get there overnight so that he lowers the risk of running into anybody. Or maybe it's during the day because lions, as far as I know, aren't nocturnal traditionally. But he see, oh, damn. Oh, my damn, that's a lion. Oh, it's really dangerous out here. A lion, go ahead.
And goeth into darkness.
Hold on. He wanted to get there earlier in the day. The sun is going down, it's getting real treacherous, and this man is going into the darkness. Maybe he's on his way to sell, maybe he's on his way home. But this man is going into what he knows is imminent danger. Because that's part of being a man. And sometimes it calls for it. And go ahead.
And when he had stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love.
And so what the scriptures is saying is no matter how he gets what he needs, whether he's not the best man and he steals and he robs, that man know he taking a risk. You know how many people went out there and they thought they was going to hit a lick and became the lick? Or thought they was going to kick a door? Excuse me. And they took what was called the room temperature challenge. That means they died. They kicked the door down. Man, I'm finna get this money. Man, it's Valentine's Day coming up, Christmas coming up. I gotta take my girl out. Man, I'm gonna get this money. You with me or not? All right, cool. They passing out whatever they passing out. They taking whatever they take. They hopped up. Boom, kick the door down. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, he on the ground. That's it. And if he's successful, then he runs in there, he do everything he got to do. However evil he got to get, however nasty he got to get. And that woman that's been at home the whole time that took zero risk, he give her a piece like she was entitled because he loves her that much. Even the monsters of men have a woman they love that they just can't help but to seem to do for. He's stolen, he robbed. So mind you, this man sees a lion. Man, I could lose my life out here. He go home and be like, man, you need to go. He don't want to put that woman in that danger. Oh, babe, it's easier if you stay here. And he thinking like, man, if that lion would have turned, she not as fast as I am. He got to measure all that type of stuff. So he like, but he still comes and gives her a piece. It says he has stolen, spoiled, and robbed. He bringeth it to his love. Go ahead.
Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother.
Now, that might hurt a father or a mother. Damn, like as a mother, like, boy, I'm the one that birthed you. Organs pushed all out the way in pain for months on end. Now, a lot of grateful mothers I've encountered, none of them have said, oh yeah, I had zero problem. Even if you sit up here and you take that mentality, the reality is the biology, the anatomy, your body changes and it's painful, it's discomforting. She gives birth. That comes with a lot of pain and blood and travail. Again, that's immortalized in the scriptures. She raises this child, watches over him, fears for him, prays for him, all of the above. And this little boy grow up, get a little chin hair, a little mustache, and he starts noticing the opposite gender. And he starts wanting to leave mama and leave dad that changed diapers and got up at 3 a.m. or whatever time to feed and change it. He want to leave that because he's like, oh, look, I want to go be with this woman. He don't need to know that woman long. Not nearly as long as he met as he was with his mother and his father. And he's like, I want to go this way with her. This is the nature of a man. Go ahead.
Verse 26. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes.
And it's a lot. That's what they call being a sucker, being a simp, being a poodle. Look, we all love women, but you can't get to a point where, dude, you're just an idiot. You can't, like, it's like, oh man, like everybody was clowning Travis Hunter. Because they like, dude, I know you're not that stupid. You a straight A student. That's not a 100% indicator of intelligence, but you've got to have some level of reasoning with that much academia to realize the inconsistency with your girl's story. And people was doing it for him. Y'all been together for 5 years, and 3 years ago she was half naked dancing in this video on this other dude. Wake up. He talking about, this dude talking about, I would drive her to college parties and wait in the car. It's like, you must be out your mind, bro. But guess what? He's just a famous instance. And the only reason people care about him is because what did they say it? Vicariously live our lives through others. So they're like, if I was in your position, I would never jeopardize it with this woman. But he's so fixated on this woman, he can't see it. And again, he's just a famous instance. So everybody gets to offer their critiques and their criticisms because he's not like normal men, and he gets a lot of attention because he's not like normal men. You know how many regular, everyday dudes it is that's falling for that? But it's a lot of men. Maybe not that exact. Oh, go to the party, but he was just here to. Oh, we just hung out. Oh, we just. I went to sleep as soon as I got home. I don't mean to laugh at you, my brethren, but I'm sure at some point or another we've all encountered some game, and you realize that okay. You have to make a decision. Either I'm going to let her play me for a fool, or I'm going to wake up and smell the coffee. But guess what? There's a lot of men who don't want to smell that coffee. And they go out of their wits. They lose their minds. And not only can they lose their minds by being foolish, they can get pushed to the point of insanity because they love this woman. And she could break your heart. Damn. Can you say that on the mic?
One of my coworkers, like his fellow brother, committed suicide 2 days ago because his wife wanted a divorce.
Fun fact, it's crazy that you mentioned that. In the U.S., men account for about 75 to 80% of suicide deaths, with roughly 39,000 to 40,000 males dying by suicide annually in recent years. Rate difference, men die by suicide at nearly 4 times the rate of women. Firearms are the most common method used in about 60% of male suicides. I don't have it right here, but there was even one that said that men typically seek more thorough ways of suicide, whereas women tend to survive suicide attempts statistically much higher than men. A man can make the decision, you know what, I'm not going to play with my life. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I don't want to take 9 Benadryl and see if I make it. I want the sure thing. And he knows when I pull this trigger, there's no coming back. And there's 40,000 a year. Let's do a little math. $40,000 divided by 365. That's 109.5 deaths per day. Divide that by 24. That's 4.5 men per hour that kill themselves. Are they all because of women? I can't say that. That's unrealistic. But am I willing to wager that a significant portion of that is a man running out of his wits? Because you could feel like, oh man, I'm strong. Like, I'm not finna let her get the best of me. Then she could start doing things that nobody sees and you can't prove, and that will drive you crazy. I'll share this. This wasn't even a wife. This is an unfortunate story. When I was a child, I had just a horrible relationship with my mother. And I remember this one time because I felt so betrayed. I said, Mom, I was hungry. I'm like, man, we've been out all day. Can I just get a little something from McDonald's? This is before inflation. You know, you probably like $5, $6 on a combo. She said, we don't have any money. I don't know what to do for you. We don't have any money. I was like, damn, man, we get McDonald's like all these other times. Hey, I'm the only one hungry. That same night, my brother had a football game. We had to give his teammate a ride home. Teammate says, no, my brother or the teammate was like, man, I'm hungry. You think we can stop and get something to eat? She pulled in the McDonald's. I was like, oh. Then guess what? It ain't like, all right, dollar value menu, you know, my money's thing. She got everybody combos. She goes around the car. Let me get a what you want, what you want. And then she turns the mirror to look at me in the back seat. And I was like, and she said, and what do you want? And I was like, how do I even prove this to somebody that you're doing this to me? That's the type of stuff that's the type of stuff that'll drive a man out of his wits. It'll make him angry. It'll make him put him through great pain. Why are you doing this to me? What have I done to you? And even if I have done something to you, can't we just go our separate ways? You want to stick around, but only to destroy me. You want to stick around, but only to make sure that I stay in the house while you burn it down? That's the type of stuff that'll make a man go out of his wits. That'll make a man do something out of his character. Even with King David and Michal, you had David. David was one of those, like, he was a celebrity in Israel. He was good looking, charismatic. He was creative. He was intelligent. He was a musician. He has all these amazing qualities about him. Sounds like just a dope dude. He the youngest sibling, but then he becomes the giant slayer. And mind you, before he was even known as being the giant slayer, everyone knew he was intelligent. David has admirable qualities. He was known in Israel even before he was really popping. David slays the giant, confident in the Lord. David gets elevated into the palace under King Saul, over the men of war, goes out to war plenty of times, comes back, he's good. Goes through incredible stress in his mind, being on the run as an enemy who was once his friend, and he was once a servant to this man, tries to actively kill him, and is leaving a trail of blood behind him. You don't think David felt a little bit of personal responsibility for the people dying because of they had just so much as talked to him? It's like, God damn it. This enemy who's hunting my steps killed a bunch of people just because they talked to me and they fed me and gave me a sword. You've got an army of 3,000 men. What is this one sword against you? But Saul left a trail of blood. None of that broke David. And then one day, so out of character for what he was before this and after, David commits adultery. David, in the middle of the night, wakes up, walks out into his balcony, sees a woman bathing. And just like I said with that construction building, look how many years it took for David to get that reputation, to get that type of authority, to get that type of exaltation. He was 17, 18 when he killed Goliath. He didn't become king and actually get accepted in Israel till he was 30. He spent years on the run and trying to avoid and be diplomatic with Saul. Had multiple attempts to take his life. Got to a point where he's told Saul, man, look, if you want to kill me, then the Lord is going to avenge me, but I'm not going to do anything to you. And a character like that, I mean, just for a short time, he went demolition crew on his own life. Took all those years to build him up and just one act, well, two acts, in a short period of time to tear him down. I wonder what drives a man to go out onto his balcony in the middle of the night and he can't sleep. And I can't say 100%, oh yeah, it was McCall. It had to be McCall. Because he was a man of war. He could have had PTSD. He could have. He could have had, he could have had any number of things happen. I just can't sleep tonight. I just remember my boy. He died on the battlefield right next to me. I remember this. I remember that. He might see some of the faces of the lives that he's had to, you know what I'm saying? It could be all type of things. Yeah. But one of the things that we do know is that his greatest enemy was in his house. Like I said, I can't say empirically because the scriptures don't tell us. But the scriptures do tell us for the sake of a woman, a man will go out of his wits. You done lost your mind. Come on, let's read that. Oh, wait, let's go back up to 26.
Verse 26. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes.
If a man's not careful, he's prone. It's innate within him to want to do for this woman so much that he'll mess around and shift the power dynamic. Hold on, wait a minute. Because a man is the natural problem solver. So when a woman comes to him and she's talking about all these different things and he starts solving her problems, she might be able to recognize, whether maliciously or not, oh, I can just kind of do what I want and he's going to swoop in and save the day. Then next thing you know, your life is hell, and you're like, damn, I get beef with him and a problem over here, and I'm banned from there, and I can't go over there. And then you're like, man, I'm solving your problems. I just want this, I just want that, I just want this. A man gonna change everything he wanted for his house and everything he wanted for himself for the sake of his woman. He became a servant for her sake. Now he's doing for her more than she's doing for him. And who knows how long he'll do that before he finally realizes that it's killing him to continue to live like that. And he starts to say, no. I'm not going to. You know what? I know we said we were going to paint the house red, but I don't even know what I was thinking. I hate the color red. I know we said we were going to have an open floor concept, but I just want a door to be able to close. I know we said it might take him years to be able to finally recognize, wait, why am I doing this? I don't even want this stuff. I don't even like that. Man, hell no. Get this out of my house. Get this out. Get that out. And then he got to do it in a way where he's not considered a monster. That's an aspect of it. I remember growing up hearing my dad and my grandpa talking about, hey, it's just a dog. I was like, oh. It's like 5. My grandpa had a chocolate lab. My dad had 2 Rottweilers, Malachi and Weiner. And they got rid of the dogs. I was like, well, Black died, but that was the chocolate lab. He died. But the other 2, he got rid of them. And I was like, no, we're the dogs. Boy, it's just a dog. But I love those dogs. But you have to recognize as a man, everyone's going to take a piece of what I have. And if I'm not careful, I'll end up giving more than what I can afford to give. And I'm not talking about money. You can give too much of your mind. Now you don't have enough left to gather yourself. You can give too much of your heart. Now you don't have enough to comfort and rebuild yourself. And you can give away too much of your finances. Read on.
Verse 27. Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women.
Many, look out. Why isn't it enough to say that many have erred or many have perished? Perish, you can die. Erred, you can make a mistake, but it's not even necessarily sin. It was just a bad move. Ooh, that's a bad look, brother. That could be anything from small to great. Your actions, your mind is not the same. You're being driven. Or you don't have it in you to pull yourself together. Possessed. In all these different ways, a man can err, all behind what he was trying to do with and for and surrounding a woman. And he can sin for this woman. Go ahead.
And now, do ye not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him?
He said, look, the king is powerful. Even if you so much as thinking about killing this king, it's going to take a massive force. People are going to die. Now, the most fortunate outcome, the best case, worst case, is you're able to assassinate the king and, only him and maybe whoever else is in the bed has to die. Or maybe just him. You could poison the tea or something, That's the least blood-shedding coup. But guess what? Most kings are protected. Most require a force and a lot of planning to be able to take down. And if you even so much as speak about killing a king, that king can get you first. My king. I heard someone planning an assassination attempt. Who? There was a baker down there on the gravel road. He saw it. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? He walk in, get the looking around. Yeah, I heard your cakes are to die for. It's like, oh, damn, he heard. Why don't you bake me a loaf of bread or a cake like your life depends on it? Oh, damn. That's it. King got you. King know what's going on. You bake the cake. It looks delicious. He flip it over. Hang him. You got to be careful with so much as speaking about a king. But read on. Look who can touch him. Read on.
Verse 29. Yet did I see him and upon the king's concubine, the daughter of the admirable Barticus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head and setting it upon her own head. She also struck the king with her left hand.
He said, can't nobody, you got to be careful with the king. He said, but look, I just saw his concubine, this woman that he's laying with, this woman that he loves. I saw her take his crown off his head. Imagine if a man would go into the king and be like, King, I got a message for you. The first thing that happens when he tries to approach, the guard is going to step forward. What do you think you're doing, sir? King, should I kill him? Let me see what he's talking about. Do you have a message or are you trying to get close? What's going on? I have a message for you. I'm going to take that crown off your head. Oh, yeah? You're like, guard. Nah, don't kill him. Just cut his hands off. Cut his hands off. No. Don't take him outside. I want to see it. Cut his hands off. He's screaming. Now take the crown off my head. I dare you. That's how much power a king has. He said, but look, the woman that he loved, she took the crown off his head, and then she did even worse. She put it on hers. You ain't no king. I'm the king. Blah, 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 blah. She playing with him. This the man that got power of life and death in his hand like this. And she playing with him. And he has enough restraint to say, okay, all right, okay, give me back my crown. Come on, crown. Then it says she hit him with her left hand. Read on.
And yet for all this the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth.
Hold on. He said, but for all this, he's still like, there goes my baby. There she goes. He still loves her so much. He's just in shock and awe. There could have been anybody else to do that to him, and they could have met a brutal end. You should look up ancient torture devices. Getting thrown in an iron bull, cooked alive. I mean, getting placed where there's an area of rats, food put on you, letting the rat eat through you. I mean, it's just all these type of terrible methods that kings have used when they felt disrespected. But this woman took his crown, put it on hers, hit him with her left hand, and ain't nothing happened to her. And it's so acceptable that no one was like, oh, my king, I'll kill this concubine. He like, they already know that's his woman. We should be careful about what we think we're going to do to her. Because he'll get upset about that. She's behind in the protection of the authority of the king. She gets immunity for things that no one else can get immunity for. Oh, let's read on. Go ahead.
If she laughed upon him, he laughed also.
She laughing at him. You always think you would. He chuckled. Kind of. Yeah, oh, yeah, kind of. He's smiling with her. Look, he's infatuated with her love. He's taken away with her love, intoxicated with her love. She laughing at him, he gonna chuckle too. Because he wants to see her happy, even though he has all this power. Read on.
But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter.
Hold on. But now if she gets mad at him, I want to get the definition of that. Feign. Feign, willing, being obliged or constrained, compelled, happy, pleased, inclined, desirous. She's mad at the king, and he not like, man, screw you then. He love her. So now he trying to flatter her. Hey, babe. Yeah, they got into an argument the night before. She shows up. Hey, baby, that's a nice dress. Yeah, whatever. Hey, did you get the necklace I sent you? Did you get the breakfast I sent? I had the cooks make your favorite this morning. I didn't really eat. I don't really like that stuff. But did you eat? This is the king. This is the king. He's trying to flatter because he wants her to like and to love, and he feels compelled to please this woman. Sisters, this is how much power you have if you this type of woman to a man. They say the man's the head, but the woman's the neck that turns him. Because you can influence this man. Let you get you a man of war, and you realize, man, this dude is kind of wild. He'll kill if he gets into a disagreement or it gets bad enough. And then she'd be like, oh, wait a minute. Not only do I have a wise woman is going to say, I have a protector. I love him. I want to keep him safe. Let me try to avoid confrontation. A woman that may not be so wise or may not be so virtuous might say, oh, I got a bodyguard / hired gun. Oh, yeah. Let me see which way I can turn this nigga, because he going to go do what I need him to do. And it's the subtlety. What's wrong, babe? Just earlier today, this guy in the market was kind of rude. What happened? Well, I was trying to get a deal, and I gave him a more than reasonable option. He sells them 2 for $10. I told him, let me get him 3 for 13. I felt like that was reasonable, and I do business with him all the time. He told me I was stupid. He did? She's like, oh, yeah. All right, come on, babe, calm down. I don't want you to do too much. She can understand this. Some women use it for good, and some women use it for evil. And if you're watching this lesson, ask yourself, what do you use it for? A man's not hard to figure out. We're simple creatures. We're very simple. We're complex. In modern day era, it's kind of like the opposite. Most little boys like, rockets, planes, dinosaurs, monster trucks. Pretty simple as a boy. But then as you become a man, you gain infinite layers of complexity. Because by the time he's a man, his mind is a labyrinth that only he, hopefully, knows how to navigate. Whereas a little girl might be more inclined to give herself to study, obedience, acquiescence. She's deemed more intelligence. And then by the time she gets older, it seems like all women love chocolate. All women love flowers. Most women love pink. They get a little more simple and a little more geared towards what they're supposed to be, which is to acquiesce to a man. But there are plenty of women that take the simplicity of that dynamic and say, I have a lot of power. You can either build him up, or you can break him down. Can't tell you. I can't tell you. It said, if she laughed upon him, he laughed also. If she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter. He felt obliged, willing, compelled to flatter her. Go ahead.
That she might be reconciled to him again.
He doing all that, putting in all that effort, putting in all that thought. Mind you, this is a king. He has all these other things to deal with, but it just don't feel the same if him and his woman ain't at peace. He's sitting up here. He's in an important meeting. My king. Huh? What were you saying? Back up a page. Everybody gonna obey. You know why? Because he's fixated upon the relationship that's going on at home that's not going right. Go ahead.
Verse 32. O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus?
We're the weaker vessel. Yeah, but you're very strong. Very, very strong. And oftentimes, in a subtle way, you can easily overtake and prevail against the man if that's what you choose to do. Because you can do it in so many different ways. He can go out of his wits. A man can get to a point where he's like, man, I don't care if I live or I die anymore. He driving fast, he road racing, he drinking and driving, he stays drunk, he stays numb. He isolates himself, he becomes a hermit, he gets a mental disease. He gets depressed, or he just chooses the capital option. I can't do that. It's the end of everything he was. And it's reality. Go ahead.
Verse 33. Then the king and the princess looked one upon another, so he began to speak of the truth.
So they looking at each other like, damn, he reading us like a book. Go ahead.
O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course. For he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all things.
The Bible says that even though the woman may be the weaker vessel, maybe she's more susceptible to change. Maybe she's more susceptible to influence. Oh, because a vessel is supposed to do what? Contain. So maybe she's the type of vessel that can be easily emptied or easily poured into. She's an easier vessel to fill and to empty. She's an easier vessel to influence, which is exactly what Satan did in Genesis. He didn't go to Adam. He went to Eve. And guess who Eve was able to get? Adam. Because he felt inclined to feign, to flatter. And she's affecting his day-to-day. She's affecting his breakfast. Not with poison, no, but she can. Man, you might. Again, the scripture said it better than I ever could. It's better to have that meal of herbs with love than that fattened ox with hatred. So if a man is at odds with his wife and he has this great meal in front of him, it's just not quite as satisfying as the old days where we used to sit here and eat salads together. This is what the Bible tells us. In so much that the only thing stronger than that woman is the law itself. Because that's the only thing that makes a woman submit unto a man outside of maybe her own desire, but it's a lot of women that don't want to submit to men. It's a lot of women that, they might not even say it outrightly. I just have to sign my life away because oh man, that's how you view it? That's how you view the submission to your husband? Yeah, I just have to do whatever he says, and it's not like my opinion matters. Oh, no. You can prevail against that man if you really try it. You really put the effort in, you can drive that man to the ends of the earth. And the only thing that man has to stand behind to stop a woman that does that is to say, nope. The Most High said, the Creator said, this is the only thing. If that woman makes a decision to do whatever it is that she's going to do, this is the only thing that might stop her. That might. But even if it doesn't, this is the only thing that's stronger than her. Last verse. Let's go to Sirach 28. and 17.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 28 and verse 17. The stroke of the whip maketh marks in the flesh, but the stroke of the tongue breaketh the bones.
That is, and it's not by surprise that they teach children the opposite of what God says. Oh, it's almost like we're in Babylon or something. It says, because you know what kids are taught? Oh, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I remember being a kid like, something must be wrong with me because, damn, that hurt. I done been in fights and been punched, seeing stars. Bing! And I don't remember the pain of that so much as I remember some of the things that I heard even as a child. It's plenty of men that get their eye, man, you get your face split, boom, boom, right here, broken nose, cartilage, nose flat from the side, broken bones, broken hands, conflict, war, being shot at. It's men that get shot at that aren't as paranoid as being shot at as they are paranoid to hear some hurtful words from someone who repetitively speaks terribly to them. I know people who have overcome great physical trauma, but then if you ask them why some of the ways that they are the way that they are is because of something someone said in their life. I remember when I was a kid, there's a whole series on YouTube, like, what's the worst thing someone ever said to you? Some of these people are in their 30s, some of them are college students, some of them are old, and they instantly are brought to tears. 50 years ago, but guess what? It still hurts. Can't remember the last time I got my lip busted. But I bet you that man can remember some of the things that have been said to him. Women, you might be able to have a baby and go through all that trauma and then turn around and be like, I want to have another baby. But I guarantee you the worst thing that's ever been said to you, you hope nobody says it to you again. The physical is only so much, but what you can do with them words can tear somebody apart. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not so many as have fallen by the tongue.
Many have fallen by the edge of the sword. But you know what comes before conflict and war? Conversations. You know what comes before hopelessness? Effort, usually. People can lose themselves, lose their wits, give up in their lives, and in one way or another destroy themselves because of the things that have been said to them and the pain that they harbor and the resentment that they feel. It can blind a person. They can't even think the same or reason the same. All praise to the Most High, Israel. With that being said, that was tonight's lesson of deconstruction. Make this house a home. I hope it was edifying. I hope there's something that we can all take from it. I always say I don't make these lessons because I'm so far from struggling, or, we're all still in this fight. He that endures until the end shall be saved. Again, I hope this was edifying, that you're able to take something away from this. All praises to the Most High. Shabbat Shalom. All praises.
If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me 'cause